Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Maria Richardson, and I will be your keynote speaker for today. Before I begin, I would like to thank Angel Charmaine and the Everyday Women series team for giving women like me a platform to share our stories, experience. Stories such as ours are talked about within our own inner circles without giving opportunity to present them to a much wider audience. So thank you truly for allowing me to be a part of this awesome platform. The title of my talk this afternoon is Childhood Cancer, Being a Light for Others. And in keeping my commitment of being my sister's keeper, I'm going to discuss this very important topic, which I believe is not talked about enough. So just to tell you a little bit about me, I am a mom of two young adult children. I am a career woman, an advocate, speaker, a writer, and an aspiring author. But I enjoy being a mom, but both of my children are older now. And out of all of these wonderful roles and these titles that I hold, being mom is the most important. So today, as I said, I will be discussing a topic which, in my opinion, is not talked about enough. And again, and that's childhood cancer. So recently across the country, we just honored Breast Cancer Awareness Month in October. But however, not many people are familiar that Childhood Cancer Awareness Month is in September. So in honor of that, I, certainly wanted to just, again, bring awareness and light to this issue, as so many of our children are battling this dreadful disease. And hopefully after today, a lot of you will be inspired, will take away something, from what I'm going to say in the battle of childhood cancer. So we have many champions, who advocate, who speak for those, who families and kids who are undergoing through childhood cancer, champions who are in the fight to develop treatments and cures, continuous research, clinical trials, gathering information, just all of the doctors, the nurses, the scientists, such a community of folks, professionals, and even parents like myself who are engaged and doing what we can to bring the rate of childhood cancer down. Also advocate for those who are not willing to speak or share their stories for whatever reason. So I'm here today to not only share what I went through with my daughter a little bit, but to let parents know and caregivers that it's okay to talk about it. It's okay to have that conversation. It's okay to share with other people what you've gone through, because you never know that your story can be an inspiration to someone, can help them to feel that they're not alone, that they can have comfort and support knowing that it's people out there that is fighting every day, just like they did for my daughter. They're fighting for yours too as well. So there's several forms of childhood cancers. There's just so many to talk about, but there are 12 types of childhood cancers, and there are over 100 of subtypes of cancers. But most commonly, people are familiar with leukemia, tumors, and lymphomas, Hodgkin's and non-Hodgkin's. So learning of your child having cancer, like I did, can be one that is completely devastating. But however, again, not to be afraid or, to take grief in it that your child won't be okay, because again, your child, just like mine, can be okay going through this dreadful disease. So, and just this current year alone, tens of thousands of kids from birth through the age of 19, have either been diagnosed with some form of childhood cancer or are still going through chemotherapy treatments, and unfortunately have lost their lives battling this dreadful disease. So again, for me, as a mom who has had a young adult, child that has not only been diagnosed with cancer, but survived cancer, I felt, it was just important for me to talk about it, to bring awareness to this issue, because I felt like it's not being talked about enough. And that's the purpose of me being here today, just to talk about this very important topic. So childhood cancer has affected many of our families, and especially, families within the African American community. We see every day on TV, those St. Jude research commercials, or maybe you've heard, privately of families, or just in passing conversations, a mom, a dad, or a caregiver talking about a loved one who has been diagnosed with cancer. So again, in honor of keeping my commitment of being my sister's keeper, I'm going to kind of dedicate this topic of discussion to women, Black women in particularly, who has had a child that is experiencing childhood cancer or has survived childhood cancer. So it's very pertinent that we, just be pillars of strength with each other, just trusting our faith, believing in God will get us through these traumatic times and dealing with these experiences. So I know there's a lot of parents out there, who have, they believe in a higher power, that knowing, whether it's childhood cancer or anything you're going through, that you can survive this, because again, there's treatments that are going on every day, vigorous efforts to try to bring down the rates of childhood cancer within all communities, but especially within the African American community. But I don't want people to be blind to the fact that, because we're African American, that we are exempt from childhood cancer. Because like me, I thought my daughter or either one of my kids would be exempt from childhood cancer, but I found out firsthand that we are not. So, but one death from childhood cancer is one too many, in my opinion. So, again, let's keep the conversation going. Let's work together as one community to battle this dreadful disease and keep our babies from going through cancer, or at least be there with them and comfort them as they go through this, and knowing that they're going to make it to the end and they're going to be among the survivor rate. So, but the survivor rates for childhood cancer has gone up significantly over the course of the last 20 years, to where it's like at least 80% of a survivor rate. So that tells us that scientists have been actively working. They've been proactive and reactive and doing everything they can, to ensure that all of our children, and again, especially being a Black mom, that, children of color, are able to receive equal treatment and adequate treatment, to beat this dreadful disease. So again, I am a mother of a childhood cancer survivor, and I'm here to tell you that yes, all of the treatments, the combination chemotherapies and everything does work, to where you don't have to feel that your child's life is in absolute danger. However, my daughter came to me earlier this year around February and showed me, which was like, it was a medium-sized lump on her neck, and asked me what I thought it was. And, like most parents, I really didn't think much of it until she started getting more lumps through above her torso and below her torso. So of course, took her to the doctors, got her checked. After the pediatrician wasn't able to determine what was going on, got referred to a hospital near Johns Hopkins in Baltimore. And eventually she wound up having to have a biopsy done, is where I learned that my daughter was diagnosed with stage 3 advanced non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So you guys can only imagine, hearing news like that, you feel like you just got hit by a car, really. And, like, what do? You cry, you grieve for a few seconds or so. But for me, I instantly had to pull it together, because my daughter needed me. And just looking at her at that time, I saw the fright and the scare on her face. And I knew that I needed to pull it together and let her know that it's okay. We're going to be okay. So she underwent 4 cycles of combination chemotherapy. And in the midst of her going through her cancer journey, she was also a senior in high school this year. So she was finishing her last semester of high school, doing work while she was in the hospital. And at the end of her cycle, she was able to go to her prom. She was able to graduate on time with her class, and just, be declared cancer free. So for me, going through this process with my daughter, just support was just so helpful to us. And for any parent, again, whether it's childhood cancer, or anything traumatic that you're going through, strong support, a support system in place is so detrimental. And it was for us. And I remember asking God, going through this process, why did he bring this to our doorstep? And at that time, when I was like questioning God why he did this to us, my spirit wasn't ready to receive his response with clarity. But however, when I was ready, I received the message that we can be a light for others. We needed to share our story. We need to talk about our story with other parents and let them know that it's going to be okay. That, no matter what you're going through, that he showed us our own strength. And I'm here to tell you, not only did we survive it, but my daughter is very active. She's thriving. She's expected to live a full, complete life. And she's doing all the things that a young adult woman would do. And, so there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So I don't want anyone to be discouraged, but again, let's just keep the conversation going. So when, the fall season come around, September, that's Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. And if you want to be involved, if you want to show your support to parents, like me and who are undergoing this, just get involved, sign up with Children's National Medical Center, or maybe out in Baltimore, or donate to a cause through the American Cancer Society. Just show your support some kind of way and let parents know that they are not alone. Because again, if it happened to me, it can happen to any of us. And so I'm just here to tell you that hope is alive and well. And, let's just keep talking about it. So I'm going to do my part as an advocate of childhood cancer, and I'm going to continue to spread the message, continue to share my story, continue to be some kind of light and inspiration for other families, and I don't mind talking about it at all because, as African Americans, at times we hold things in and we don't always talk about it. And you'd be surprised, at least I've been thus far, the number of mothers that has opened themselves up and literally just, shared that their child has endured a cancer, some form of cancer. So again, I just appreciate just having this time to talk. And in conclusion, again, in keeping my commitment as my sister's keeper, I encourage you to stay in faith. Don't give up, for God did not give up on us, and he will not give up on you. And I thank you so much for having me today. My name is Maria Richardson, and I am the mother of a childhood cancer survivor.